So if you're still on the fence about the Switch 2, this past week you found a little bit, I guess, a lot more details about some of the visual upgrades or just upgrades that some of the games will be getting. So you can find this out on the Nintendo Switch 2 site. It's pretty useful. Again, I think a lot of these visual upgrades are not going to sway most people. You're not gonna be like, oh my God, Zelda Echoes of Wisdom is getting this upgrade, therefore I have to buy it. But I mean, for somebody like me who played Zelda Echoes of Wisdom and was probably the only Zelda game that I actually liked, because I did not like Breath of the Wild, Zelda Echoes of Wisdom was definitely more of a very confined experience. There was less exploring, running around. There was like less of a walking simulator, which is why I loved the game. So if you don't remember, because I feel like I did do a Zelda Echoes of Wisdom video at one point, it's basically you take on the role of Princess Zelda. She has the ability to create echoes of objects and environments, solving puzzles and battling enemies to save the kingdom, right? So an echo is basically like you kill an enemy and you can make a copy of this enemy and that will fight for you. So at every different encounter in the game, you're like, okay, I can use this thing that shoots fireballs, or this bat that can fly and attack enemies in the water, or this thing in the water that can, I remember I killed a shark at one point, and then I can now summon sharks in the water, and that shark does a lot of damage. So it's such a varied game. I'm not a puzzle person either, but it's just like there are so many different ways to do something. It is such a highly replayable game that I loved it. So if you were a fan of this game, or even Link's Awakening, I guess is the other one, very similar in style in terms of the way it looks, the upgrade it is getting is significantly higher resolutions. We know the upgrade is going to be 4K 60 frames per second, right? When you're docked, 1080p as well. So that's going to make it look really nice. It already looked pretty good playing at 1080p when the original Switch was docked anyway. So sharper images, more detailed textures. We're going to get an improved frame rate as well. And again, with the first-party Nintendo titles, you've heard me say this before on the show, that I've never had a first-party Nintendo title ever drop in terms of frames, or something that's actually noticeable where I'm like, oh my God, why is this game slowing down? Or why is there screen tearing or image tearing, whatever you want to call it. Enhanced gameplay fluidity, especially during combat and exploration. Faster loading times, that would be nice. Because I will say, in Echoes of Wisdom and other first-party Nintendo games that I did try, like there are times where it's a good 10 to 15 second load times on some of the games. So that will help sometimes. I know like Antoine complained about Starfield's loading times, which I had no problem with. But on the Switch, I never really noticed the loading times for some reason, the original Switch anyway. So, of course, as well, the new Switch 2 is going to allow, in better lighting, better shadows, particle effects, larger draw distance as well. I think it's going to be nice because, again, I think this won't matter so much for Echoes of Wisdom because it is like a top-down look at the game. But for games like Breath of the Wild, where you can now see things further in the distance, which is going to be really, really nice. On the Switch 2 side, right, they're basically like, here are these 5 games, first-party Nintendo games. This is what we're going to do with them. Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker is another game that I just sort of recalled at the moment. None of the upgrades are like supreme, like, oh my God, this is going to blow my mind away. All of these upgrades are free. They're not like the paid upgrades, so that's kind of cool. So it could be a reason for you to buy a Switch 2 if you, maybe like me, I didn't have a chance to finish, Echoes of Wisdom, and I'd like to finish it. It's on my list of things to finish. Whether I finish it at some point in the future is another story, but we'll see. So has this swayed your decision? Like, are you still going to buy a Switch 2 despite the whole physical cartridge debacle? Nintendo came out and explained that this week, but that's not part of this video. Comment down below if you are buying a Switch 2, if you've already succeeded in pre-ordering one, and let us know.